Hey, welcome back to another edition of Get Out There and Get Known podcast. I love this lady, and you're going to love her too. She is Tanya Smith, and Tanya is she's beautiful, she's smart, but she also helps coaches, consultants, and course creators leverage on-camera video. So this was a little bit of a threat today, right? It's like, oh my God, is my camera right? Do I have on the right stuff? But she's going to tell us about how on-camera video content, how to really leverage that, how to get seen online and serve more people and sell more services. You'll find her inspiring in weekly live videos and strategies on Get Noticed with video.com on Facebook and YouTube. So right after this, we're going to have Tanya Smith come up and we're going to talk about how to get out there and get known on video, which is really the hot thing right now. So here we go.
Welcome to the Get Out There and Get Known podcast. Join Pam Perry, veteran PR strategist, Emmy award-winning producer and publisher of Speakers Magazine, who will show you how to crack the code in getting out there to get known. Each week, she either interviews her media friends, PR colleagues, or she just goes solo, offering you strategies on publicity, publishing, and platform building. So listen up to hear how to get booked on media places and on superstar stages. Now, here's your host, Pam Perry.
Hey there, a little reverb going on. That was not intentional.
I
Oh
could
my
barely hear it.
God.
I'm good. That was beautiful. I love it.
And so just in full transparency, I have known Tanya online, which was like one of the things Tanya online before, probably about 15 years.
Yes.
At least 15 years.
At
So
least.
this is kind of like the OGs of online stuff, right? But we've evolved. We've evolved into this video. Before it was just like maybe doing blog talk radio. Oh my
Mhm.
God. Then we started doing like maybe other podcasts. There was Blab and there was this. But what
Yep.
has been the game changer, and Tanya will talk about it today, is video. And she has really a lot of nuggets that she's going to drop today about video. So welcome, Tanya. Just love you, love you.
Hey, everybody.
One of the things about you, I love that when you do something, no matter what it is, it's always in excellence. And I've watched your growth or your journey or career over the years, but I think I want to say you started out with productivity. But give us a little bit of
Yes.
backstory about how, because I knew you way back, and you've evolved into this, and this is a creme de la creme of where you are right now. So to give us the backstory.
Oh my goodness. So yeah, I'm one of those people who's a little hard-headed. And when I first started, and I remember, Pam, we met, like you said, probably 15 years ago. And that was around the time I was just getting started in any type of business whatsoever. But I started with personal branding. I was working with career professionals who wanted to be promoted. And so my first brand was Be Promotable. Actually, my
Ah,
very first one was Design Your Work. And then I moved to Be Promotable.
I remember that.
Yes. And then I did systems and productivity. And then
Let me tell
I
you,
was,
that systems and productivity, that was like game changer for me because I was all over the place. Things were getting a lot more crazier with so much. Before we
yes.
only had like a few social media, then it got more and more and more. And I'm like, okay, how am I
Yep,
going to manage all that? And you did that for a while, and I
I
I,
did.
I appreciate that. Mhm.
And you know what? Honestly, the thing that drew me to all these different ventures is I was trying to find myself. I was trying to figure out, like, where can I stand out?
Mhm.
You talk about getting out there and getting known. I could not. I knew a lot of things, like a lot of us, Pam, we say, I can do everything. And so we try to do everything, but you're going to find that there's something that you do that gives you this passion where you feel like, you know what, I could talk about this all day and never get paid and still just be in a zone. And I kept trying to figure out what that was. And yeah, I am super organized because I have to be, because I'm juggling a corporate career in addition to almost full-time business now,
Mhm.
with two kids who are highly active, one who's in college now,
3 dogs.
3 dogs. and a husband who travels internationally. He's in Asia right now. So there's just a lot that's going on. And what I wanted the ability to be able to continue to juggle all those things and not drop any balls.
Mhm.
And systems, that's a natural gift of mine, is to be able to just stay organized. But it wasn't what I wanted to talk about all the time.
Yeah, yeah, that's the thing. It's like that's what I do, but I don't know if I'm going to talk about it all the time. It's
Yes.
yeah, yeah. That
Yeah.
I can kind of see that. So be promotable was about branding and really about how to get promoted. And in
Yep.
a way, it's kind of like what you're doing now because you do have to be get noticed with video, right? So
Yes.
kind of and so your background was it in technology?
My background was in training and development, and as a trainer in the corporate world initially. As a trainer, I was taught all the technology stuff. Like when Microsoft Office first rolled out way back, I was the person that would go to different places throughout our enterprise, throughout the US, and do teaching and training around how to use the software and all of that.
Okay,
So
okay.
I've always had kind of a knack for technology, and I can pick up any type of software and learn it really quickly.
Mm-hmm.
But I will tell you what moved me into video a couple years ago was, even though I was pumping out all this content and doing all this stuff, nothing was reaching anyone. The organic reach on Facebook, my page was like nothing
Mm-hmm. I know.
on
That
all
they
my social platforms. Yeah. And I decided, you know what? I'm going to test this out and see if they're saying they want video, especially live video. As scared as I was to really be on live every week, I made a commitment that either I need to do something drastic or I need to just give this thing up because I'm
Mhm.
tired. I'm tired of running on the hamster wheel and getting no return from it. There was
Right.
nothing coming out of that social media stuff. So when I committed to doing a live stream at least once or twice a week for a year. I was
Wow.
like serious. I was like, "Look, if I'm gonna do this, it's gonna be big."
Wow. So for a year. So I want people to know that don't give it like, 30 days, don't give it 90 days. We're talking like a full year of being consistent, which we
Yeah.
always talk about being consistent. You want to get out there, get known, but you want to be consistent.
Yep.
And so when you're doing, so one, you weren't really scared of technology. And
Right.
so you can learn the software easy. So that was easy for you. The hardest part you think for people if they have to use, well, the HubSpot and those kind of things said
Mhm.
video is 55% more likely to be noticed
Yes.
than just a regular post. So it's more
Mhm.
than half of
Mhm.
people watching video. People love video. And so even when I'm doing my PR and things like that, I always said to a client, I says, okay, we could do a press release, but I also like to include a video because people
Mhm.
like video. Yes, live is certainly scary. That's what Andrea said. It is
It
live because
is.
it's like you don't know what's going to happen.
Yeah.
Uh, so one of the things too. So what is you think? So you're doing the lives, you're doing the
Mhm.
video because you know that it has more engagement. But what do you think
Mhm.
is the scariest thing that most people are dealing with? And this will probably help with Andrea in terms of like what it is that's scary, and then how
Yeah.
you really help people get over that because you had
One
to
of
get
the
over it first.
Yeah, yeah, because I'm a big introvert, and a
Yeah, I
lot of
know. I remember
people.
you saying that a lot.
Yes. A lot of people that don't know me because they see me now and I appear to be confident on camera, which I am much more confident now. But one of the scariest things I think is people feel like they're going to be judged.
Mm.
I
Mhm.
think that people have records playing in their heads of old things that people told them about their worth and their value or their looks.
Their
Uh,
looks. Their
yeah.
teeth. People are so into their teeth because when you're
Yeah.
doing a live, basically we're only seeing this bust part of us. So
Yep.
either they're looking at our eyes, which then I had to learn how to put on eyelashes, or they're looking at their teeth. So we got
Yeah.
to make sure the teeth are white and all that kind of stuff. So people, and so if you don't have naturally straight teeth, or you
Mhm.
may have a gap or whatever, that is a big thing. I think dentists are probably like in a boom right now. Them and the eyelash people. Because it's like
Yeah.
the teeth, so the Invisaligns, all that kind of stuff. So that probably holds a lot of people of how they look. But
How they look, how they are perceiving themselves is one of the biggest things that hold them back. But here's the other thing, Pam, is I feel like some of that is also an excuse at times
Mhm,
because even though I was teased as a child, I was teased for having big buck teeth and Coke bottle glasses, and my ears are too small, and my nose was too big, and I
mhm.
was too nerdy, and all these things were running in my head too when I first started. And while I have a nice set right now, my
You did that.
background,
Yes.
it was not, I mean, like it was, I had a walk-in closet that I used, but you still, regardless of where you are with your looks, your appearance, and even the appearance around you, if you have a message to share, if there's something that you feel like in your heart, this needs to reach other people, I need to serve people in a powerful way, I feel like video is an opportunity for anyone. The thing
Mhm.
is we have to sometimes get past ourselves
Yeah.
first. So, yeah, I do think that all the other things can come later. So the lashes and the hair being done. And we were talking offline about the hair thing.
Whew, that would make you not wanna be on video if that hair ain't right, I'm telling you, it's like,
Look,
uh,
and
no.
I'll
Listen,
tell
"Do
you,
you
I
wanna
had a
go on the
bad
Tonight Show?" If my hair is right.
But look, even when your hair isn't what here's the thing. I had someone, and I always tell this story because I want people to understand, I'm never gonna lie to you and tell you you won't be judged.
Right.
I'm never gonna lie to you and tell you that there won't be people who are trolling you on your videos. And I had someone who trolled me about the hair. It didn't look like it looks right now, but we were going through the whole situation with my husband who was dealing with cancer and he was going through
Mm,
treatments and it was just a really stressful time. And so I had the stylist just cut my hair all the way off, like just cut it
I
off.
remember. Mhm.
And then this woman
It was so
pops
cute.
into the
It was
chat and
cute.
she's like, well, you think it's cute, but she didn't. And she popped into the chat while I was live and said, if I were to look up the definition of unprofessional, your picture would be next to it. Like she popped this
Oh
up
my
in the chat
god.
while I'm live.
Oh my goodness.
So I didn't realize how deeply it affected me at the time, but you'll see if you look in my YouTube history, you'll see videos where I'm wearing wigs
Mhm,
and where it was an emotional, it was a mental, it was all these things because I felt like, well, maybe I shouldn't be on camera. Maybe I
mhm,
shouldn't be doing video because I don't, I'm getting judged, which was what you were afraid of, Tanya, right?
mhm, mhm.
But at some point you have to realize that other people's baggage is not yours.
Yeah, that's
And
true.
so I went, and now you can do all the things. You can go get the salon set up and you can get the studio set up and but that will come eventually. First, you have to be brave enough to get your message
Yeah.
out no matter what.
Mhm. Yeah. Yeah, it's one of those things where you know what you know, and you have to open your mouth and just really share it. So a lot of authors and speakers, even though they know what they know, they
Yeah.
still have a confidence, a lack of confidence when it comes to really speaking it out over video. They
Yeah.
can probably do it live because they have the energy of the people or
Mhm.
whatever it is. They're just practicing on stage more, but you
Mhm.
do get better if you practice on video. Right now, I'm looking at my Logitech, right? I'm looking at that and I'm looking at you, but it is different than if we were
Yeah.
sitting across talking in person. So I can get how people are really, really afraid. But the
Mhm.
other part that I think really, Tanya, is the equipment. Okay. So right now I have over here to the side my Rodecaster, which
Yep.
was plugged up earlier, but then it was giving me some issues. And I have the other mic over there and I have this and that. And then sometimes it becomes overwhelming because it doesn't work right away. What
Mhm.
kind of camera, what kind of lights, what kind of background. I got
Yeah.
this little furry thing in the background. I kind of thought that was cute because if I just did the black on black, then it's like it's just only a floating head. So I I
Yeah.
needed to break something up against that. So people think about all those other things as well as like, okay, do I look right? Do I sound right? People don't even like their voice sometimes. So people don't like their
Yes.
voice. That's a whole nother thing. But
Mhm.
the main thing is like, what kind of equipment should a person have just starting out with video? Should they just start with the basics, go with their phone, do a
Mhm.
YouTube short, or how should they start doing their their video setup, I guess you say, what kind of equipment, because you have a really nice mic there. I'm
Yes.
using the mic from Logitech, and I'm using my Mac.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
What should they start out with?
So the three biggest questions that everybody asks are, how do I get over the fear of getting on camera?
Mhm.
What equipment should I have? And then the other one is, what should I say? Right?
Mhm.
Okay, so I'm going to answer that second question because you just asked it, and we talked a little bit about confidence, but I do want to come back to that a little bit if we can later.
Yeah.
The equipment. If you are just starting out, if you're new, please don't try to mimic what you're seeing yet. And the reason why I say that, if you're seeing somebody who looks professional and sharp and you're just like, wow, I got gear envy, like I want
Yeah.
all the stuff they have,
Hmm.
be careful that you don't run yourself into a budget crisis because you went out and bought all this stuff that you'll never use. I always
Right.
tell people, start with baby steps. So like you said, start with your phone, right? Because you can go live literally with your phone. You can click go live on your phone for Facebook, for YouTube, if you have approval and have a certain number of followers, for Twitter, for, all the things.
LinkedIn. Hmm.
LinkedIn, if you have approval, right?
Hmm.
You
Hmm.
can do that from your
Amazon.
phone. Amazon, once you have approval.
I'm so
So
excited.
congrats.
Just a sidebar that I just got approved for Amazon influencer program. So I'm just kind of like excited about that because you can go live in Amazon, which is like
Yes,
where we shop. I love it. I
it's
love it, and I love
fun.
books. So that's my jam. So
Yes.
anyway.
So
Hmm.
now we need to talk about setting up your store and making sure all that's ready before you do
Yes,
your
please.
Amazon lives, ma'am.
Yes, yes,
But
please,
yes,
because I don't know what I'm doing.
so you can do all of these things and you can do it from your mobile phone, and you don't have to go out and purchase a really expensive camera, microphone, lighting, all of that. You need natural light. So if you're starting at the basics, use your phone.
Yes,
Have some good natural lighting. So you need to find some place in your home or office or maybe even
yes,
outside where you can get natural lighting.
yes,
Then when you've gotten to the point where you're like, okay, you know what? I am going to do this. I am comfortable. I do feel like I want to do this more consistently. Then you can start upgrading. And when you upgrade, like I'll tell you what I'm using, but I'll tell you where I started. When I first started, I used a Logitech C920. I think it was a C920 Pro camera. It's just a webcam that you can plug into
hmm.
your
I want
computer.
people. I want people to see the difference. That's what I have, and then look at what
Mhm.
she has. Okay, all right, go on.
Now I'm using okay, so yes, thank you for that's my demo. So I had the Logitech. That's what I started with, and I loved it. It worked fine. It works fine for Zoom and all those things. You don't have to upgrade yet. But if you're moving from your phone and you're like, I want to do this from my desktop, first check out your Mac if you have a Mac.
Hmm.
If you have a PC, most of the time you're going to have to upgrade. You need to have something that's just a plug and play, and a Logitech is perfect.
Hmm.
C920 or C922.
Hmm.
Also, with microphone at that level, we'll just call it level B. So you started at C with the phone. So level B is going to be the Logitech. Plus, you might have a nice microphone. Your microphone could be something simple. I started with, I think it was an Audio Technica ATR 2100.
Wow.
And so
Okay.
simple phone or
Well,
simple mic.
listen, my first mic was a snowball.
I had a snowball too. It's
Oh
still
my
over there.
goodness. Yeah, the snowball is just a mess. No shade on snowball, but it's like not the best one. Then I moved up to the Yeti. And I
Yes,
thought I was because it was big, and I
that was
felt
my
I
next
felt
one.
important. I was like, "Ooh, I
Mhm.
got a big microphone." It didn't have to be big, but anyway, go on, go on.
Yes, yes, the Yeti is nice too. I just recommended to somebody who's using a PC and they didn't want to go too pricey, get a Yeti. And the Yetis now are fairly nice. You're not going to go wrong if you get a newer one.
Mhm, mhm.
That's plug and play also, but then I upgraded from my Logitech to a DSLR camera. So I'm using a Sony A6400. I had a Canon at first, a Canon T6i.
Mhm.
And then I moved over to the Sony because I loved how you can kind of see how it just gives you that brilliant color,
Yeah,
right?
yeah. If you look at the difference in the
The detail.
resonance, yeah, the
Mhm.
resonance, it's just more. Yeah, it looks like it's television, like it's a movie. Like she looks like she's at the movies, and I'm looking like I'm on my phone. Okay.
Whatever.
So it's just
I
kind of
know
like
you
you
don't.
can just see the difference between. But if I were to just to use the one in my camera and just the Mac, it's not as crisp as this. So
Right.
I started with one and then go to another. But you do start, um, to improve as you do more frequency and you do more um, lives. That's one of the
Yes.
main things, and how you're using it as well.
Mhm.
So this roadcaster beast that I have over here to the side, that
Mhm.
it looks like I'm part of some kind of radio
A
studio,
radio show,
up and
DJ.
down and this and that. I have it, and it can add sound effects and things like that. And I said I will do that eventually in my podcast, a little applause and that sort of thing.
Yeah.
But it's very intimidating. So
Mhm.
I've been in tech, like you said, we met 15 years ago, and yeah, it's still intimidating for me of how to set up all these cords. I have a cord
Yep.
mess behind me. I mean,
Mhm.
it's just like what cord goes where. And so sometimes I'm not usually scared of technology, but like I'm just afraid of like what I'm going to plug in and what may blow up back here.
Yep.
So you use it with, when you're ready, I guess you would say, the
Right.
different equipments and the mics and the plugins. And I have another mic that has like a switcher to it. I mean, you could do the Bluetooth. So much you could do,
Yeah. But
but
you don't wanna do all of that starting out because it becomes complicated, and like you just said, it becomes almost a distraction from the core thing that you're trying to do, and the main thing you're trying to do is to get your message out and to get noticed. You do not have to do all the things right off the bat. It's
that's
like
true.
running before you can walk.
Hmm. So
So,
Andre
and
wants to know, what is the Sony camera again that you had or using?
yeah, I'm using a Sony A6400, so I'm saying A as in Adam, 6400.
Hmm. Hmm.
But
And
that's the one, that's the latest one of a whole hodgepodge of cameras that I tried.
so yeah, but it is a
DSLR.
DSL, yeah, DSLR camera, which you have
Mhm.
to put on a tripod.
You have to put it on a tripod. Not only that, you also then need other stuff in order to make sure that your computer recognizes that camera. And that's again why I'm saying if you're just starting out, don't walk before or don't run before you can walk. Walk first with the easier setup because here's the thing that's going to hurt you if you try to go and buy all this stuff is the more stuff you buy, the more stuff you have to buy. I had
Yes.
to buy a cam link because I bought the Sony. I bought
Hmm.
a stream deck. I have a stream deck. I have a Wave XLR. I got stuff.
I got a bunch of wires.
See, just like
That
you.
it's just wires every this
Right.
3/4 lengths and that kind of thing, and the gotta if I have an eye rig over here that
Yep.
kind of matches to it is
It's
the more
stuff.
you buy, the more you have to buy. That is
Yeah.
so true.
So be careful of that because you don't want to end up becoming paralyzed and overwhelmed by all the things that you've put in front of yourself. And now you've created all these hurdles when you haven't finished overcoming the first two, three hurdles. And the
Right.
first hurdle being that confidence piece and making sure that you just know you're going to be consistent and that you're trying even when things look like trash.
Hmm.
Again, I started in my walk-in closet, y'all. Walk-in closet with a phone and then with that Logitech and with a really crappy mic. I don't even think the ATR wasn't crappy, but it was not great. It
Hmm.
wasn't fantastic, but I first had to get myself out there and it didn't look wonderful and I didn't sound wonderful. I didn't sound smooth, but I just had to get over the hurdle first. Once I got
Hmm.
over that hurdle, then I went to the next hurdle. Figuring out the dashboard. You're in StreamYard right now, Pam.
Hmm.
What was that like when you first started doing StreamYard?
Oh yeah, I didn't know which button to push. I was pushing all kind of buttons. I'm a button pusher, so it's like, okay, I'll push it. And, just as long as I don't break it, I'm pushing. It's like, oops, there we
Yes.
go. But yeah, it's a little bit different. It's a little bit different than Zoom. A
Yep.
little bit, a lot different than Teams. That's for sure. I can't stand Teams,
Mhm.
but so it's different ways of doing those things where
Mhm.
you're just saying, okay, I'm just starting out. I'm not going to be the expert just starting out. When I first
Yeah.
did Blog Talk Radio, that was just like at the very beginning, 2007. I was doing that, and it was like,
Yeah.
oh my God, how's this going to work? How do I recognize the other callers on the side? I mean, it's all going to be new. No one is really going to know it all the answers, but it does help to get into a program
Mm-hmm.
that with people who've been before you who have kind of figured it out, that can help
Yes.
you figure it out. Because at the beginning, I was trying to figure it out on my own, but things have become so complicated that I need someone. If I want to really learn how to do TikToks, I would
Yep.
I would take a class with someone who knows how to do TikToks, right? If
Mm-hmm.
that's what I want to do. I wouldn't
Mm-hmm.
sit there for hours and hours and try to figure it out myself when someone has a program that will just shorten my learning curve. That's what
Yes.
I'm saying. It's just shorten your learning curve because it could be a simple thing of like someone telling you what equipment to use. If taking you 4 or 5 years to figure out the right equipment,
Mm-hmm.
but you can tell them this is what we need right now, and this is how you use it, and this is how you need to make it work with your equipment. So
Mm-hmm.
that's the other thing. Like, how do you make it work with your equipment? Or overlays. The StreamYard
Yes.
overlays. Those are just like, how do you do that? It's like, oh my God, okay, we got to get an overlay. Or green screens. Talk
Mm-hmm.
about green screens. What are your opinions on the green screen type of thing?
So I love that green screen is an option. I have a love-hate relationship with green
I
screens.
know you
I
you
love
told
it
me before.
yes. And I'm gonna say why I hate it first. I don't love it when people use it as a crutch and they haven't really put the proper lighting in place and
Hmm.
they haven't chosen a background and image that is really reflecting what they want to represent with their brand.
Hmm.
Um, like if you got this image with a bunch of space rockets in the background and stars and moon, but it has nothing to do with your why?
Yeah.
And when you don't have a proper green screen, I've seen people that are on Zoom, for instance. This is where my is one of those things that irks me. You're on Zoom and you don't have a green screen, but you choose the green screen button, and you're like, your hands look like one of those balloon men that people have in the car dealerships, standing on the side of the road, and you can see yourself disappearing and reappearing parts of your body.
Oh my
The
God.
thing that I love about green screen, however, is that it gives you options so
Hmm.
that if you don't feel confident about your background yet and you haven't set up your studio and you want to represent yourself professionally and not let your background be a distraction.
Okay,
Yeah, see,
there we go.
Pam, she's doing
Yeah.
it.
Yeah.
That's
So it's
the
like
disappearing.
it's cute. You may think, oh well, that's her living room, but you can see I'm looking for those who are not watching the video podcast, but it's like I put up a green screen. I put
Yep.
up a background without a green screen, so now
Mhm.
I look like I'm a ghost. I guess you would say.
Yeah.
It's like,
Yeah.
yeah.
And then if you had on a green shirt, you'd be in real trouble because you disappear.
Hmm. Hmm. So
And people
don't do
don't think
that.
about those things. They don't
Hmm.
because they're just like, "Hey, well, I've got a green screen, so I'm just gonna hide my background," which you can do, and it's okay. But I think once you start maturing in your video game,
Hmm.
you need to then make sure you have the proper lighting. You need to make sure that you pick a background. Like, I like your background that you just chose. That was a decent background, but have the right lighting. And really, if you had a real green screen behind you, it would show up like you really were in that house.
Right.
So I
Yeah.
try to tell people just go ahead and invest, even if I started out with a sheet. It was a green sheet that I got from Joann's Fabrics,
Oh my God. And
and
that
it worked.
worked.
Sure did.
Okay, so
Sure
I
did.
just changed my camera from the Mac camera, which was in the Mac, to this one, which I thought
Uh,
it is the Logitech. So it's a little
yeah.
bit more crisper
Yes.
versus the other one. And I just realized that when I changed those backgrounds, I was like, oh, it's not even on the right camera. So this is a difference that for those who are watching the video, we're talking about how to get noticed with videos. So seeing
Mhm.
the difference between the cameras. Before was the Mac, which was in the computer, and now
Yep.
this is the external camera here.
Mhm.
And then I don't have a green screen. I just have a black background for me. But but if I had a green screen, she was saying that I could use the other one that looked like someone's living room, had a piano on it and all that kind of stuff. So it was kind of
Mhm.
cool. But yeah, that is like a big difference in using technology the right way and having someone help you through that. So
Mhm.
talk about how Get Noticed with video, how that helps them, and how does it work? Is it a program? Is it a mentorship? Is it a done for you, done with you?
So Get Noticed with Video itself is my LLC. So it's the umbrella over all of the things that I do, all of my video programs.
Okay.
Stream Like a Boss TV is where I actually do my weekly live streams.
Okay.
So streamlikeaboss.tv is kind of like my link, my schedule as to where, sorry, I should have turned do not disturb on. That is where I actually you can find all my live streams if you go to those channels, because those are my social platforms everywhere that I go live.
Okay.
Now, Stream Like a Boss Network is my new community of programs. So I do a challenge called the Let's Go Live Challenge. We just wrapped our first one for 2022, Pam, and it was awesome. Like the
Oh,
women. So I work with women coaches, consultants, and course creators primarily. And
and so,
so everybody is in service in some way.
okay. Okay.
And many of them had never done a live stream. So the goal in that program is that by day 4 of our 5 days, you are going live. So I'm equipping you and meeting with you every day, the first 3 days. On day 4, they go live. And so it was just amazing to hear all the light bulb moments and just to see people like, "Oh my God, I thought I wasn't going to do it and I got it done." And then we celebrate on day 5. But
Oh my God. Is it Stream
that
Like a Boss TV, or is that Stream Like a Boss?
So
Um,
streamlikeaboss.tv is the best place really for people to go and find out more about what we're doing, or getnoticedwithvideo.com is my main website.
okay.
Those are the 2 places to go. The
Okay.
reason why I mentioned that, this whole network or community thing is because we also have something called Stream Bosses Academy. So I know there's a lot of things here happening, but the academy is where we're getting ready to release a brand new program called Launch Your Live Stream Show.
Ooh.
That is where I'm really excited because I made a commitment to myself after the big C this Christmas that I was gonna just jump out there and do another really big goal. And the goal for me this year in 2022 is to help at least 50 women to
Okay.
start their own live stream series or show.
Okay.
So
I
I
love that.
labored over this new program that we're gonna be launching at late February, so it's not up yet, but we're gonna be launching a program that is only gonna be for those Stream Bosses Academy members. So if people are in the academy, they'll get access to it
I love
as
it.
part of their
So,
membership.
so how do they get part of the academy? Do they go to Stream Like a Boss, or do you have a URL for Stream Like a Boss Academy?
I would say, if you're interested in checking out the academy in its current state, go to streambosses.academy.
Okay.
And again, all of these things, these links, this is why I hate giving out 500 links, but I would say that if you had to go to one link, streamlikeaboss.tv, if you look at it from your mobile phone or your any device, you'll be able to see my schedule. You'll be able to see access to programs. You'll be able to see my free quiz. You can see everything there. That's the best way.
I love that. Stream Like a Boss is cool. Anyway, that just sounds, I could just remember that. Just Stream Like a Boss TV. So that's it. The dot TV, there's always a .com, there's a .net, whatever. Speakers
Yeah.
Magazine is a .net, and Speakers Magazine is a .com. But the
Yeah.
TVs are really, really good. Do you suggest people buying their TVs now, since we're in this video age and everything?
I think if you're going to get serious about doing video, yeah. I think you
Yeah.
should go ahead and purchase your channel, make sure you
Hmm.
have access to it, and then be careful that you're not like taking somebody else's name.
Yeah.
Like just, all
Right.
the things, copyright and all that trademark stuff. But I was really just baffled. I'm like, stream like a boss. I can get that. Like all these things always come to me
Hmm.
after I've just been praying about it and pondering and asking, what is it I'm supposed to do with this? And that was a blessing to me last year.
That is so
So,
cool. And Stream Like a Boss Academy, Stream Like a Boss TV. And it's just one of those things where it'll eventually be a book and all that kind of stuff, right?
well, I'm going to have to come to Dr. Pam Perry and say, hey, Can you just help me, nudge me to go ahead and get this book written,
Oh
which I
no.
have not written yet?
Yeah, and it's just one of the things too, for those of you who have not written a book, you have a lot of content and that sort of thing, and we're streaming like
Yeah.
a boss, and we're online, and we're really getting out there and getting known online. But sometimes when you have the book, well, 99% of the times when you have a book, it does position you a little bit different in the media's eyes. It's just positions you a little bit different in the media, especially print media. I mean, print media, they do like books because they're
Yeah.
they're they're the print people like that. So that's why I say some of that will be good, because you can really then just widen the net of the people
Mhm.
that are going to be listening to you, getting out there and
Yes.
getting known, broadcast and print. So those are the same too, because I just had someone I was talking to about print as well. But again, a lot of the newspapers and everything, they're online. I mean,
Yeah.
you look at the Griot, it's a online publication or online website of news, but they also have a video with it. The Root as well. They have video component. I think April, can't think of her name now, but she's on April Ryan. She has a
Oh,
TV
yeah.
show on The Root, and
Mhm.
that's part of that thing where she came out of just terrestrial radio. Basically, she was with American Urban Radio Network, and now she's working at the Root and doing a TV show on a website. It's like basically, who would have thought?
Yep.
So yeah, those are some of the things too. And in terms of cameras, in terms of microphones, all that is secondary. Green screens, not green screens. The main thing is to have a message,
Yes.
to tell your story, and to have confidence with it. And if you really need help with that, that's one of the things Stream Like a Boss can help with. My Ready, Set, Go Speak. If you're not really sure, like, who's your target, what's your message, how do I package
Yes.
it with the branding, how do I even build my platform, that's what ReadySetGoSpeak.com is. And that's one of the programs where you can test run it for 7 days for $7. And that's limited time, but I just wanted people to see the breadth of the information that is available. There's interviews, exclusive interviews with media professionals, telling them, like, how do you get seen, how do you get noticed, what they're looking
Mhm.
for. There's a lot of information on publicity and platform building. There's templates on how to write press releases, and then the branding accelerator program, the digital version, is in there as well. So it's from A to Z of how to get branded. So it's a lot.
Mhm.
Plus there's a forum, and then we have monthly Zoom meetings. So it's a breadth of everything. And if you're a learner, which most people who are in communications are, it's a great
Mhm.
review. It's really great. You don't have to try and Google everything. It's all in one spot. But I think that Tanya was saying that her background as a teacher, it's just natural that you have an academy, right? So that's like part of it as well. So, that's what you do. It's like no matter where she's going to do, it doesn't matter. Whatever she's doing,
Mhm.
she's going to teach you how to do it. So whether it's productivity, it's I'm going to teach you how to be more, use the automation systems and that sort of thing.
Yeah.
That's kind of thing. There was, we were on Clubhouse not too long ago. I mean, just using that social audio app is really cool.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
have you been on Clubhouse lately?
I haven't lately, but I know that there's been a
Oh,
lot of upgrades, a
it
lot of new features.
has been. Oh my
Yeah.
goodness. It is so many upgrades. So many upgrades. One of the things that we couldn't we one of the things that I didn't like about it was that you couldn't message people, but now you can, right? You
Yes.
can inbox them. But then there's
Mhm.
now you can pin a link on the top of your Clubhouse. So it
Yes.
could be your call to action right at the top.
Mhm.
Or the other thing that was, you can record the rooms now and
Yes.
save them.
Yes.
How about
Yeah.
that? That before it was like, well, you got to show up on Clubhouse because it's not recorded. But now they'll say recording is on. As soon as it's over, you save it, and then that's recorded. The other thing
And
that I
that's
thought,
smart.
yeah, the other thing that I thought was real cool was the little clips, the 30-second clips. I love that
Mhm.
as well. And it's just a whole thing. And the lady who's over the marketing is a black woman. Her name is Maya. I can't think of
Oh,
her last name, but she's one of the ones that's kind of like bringing them through to making this real juicy and fun, and that sort of thing. I wouldn't be surprised if some kind of way where Clubhouse not will just stay a social audio app, but video will be in there.
maybe move into the other spaces. Yes. Spotify has is it Spotify? I think now if you have a podcast on there, you can actually have both an audio and video podcast. You have to go through an approval process there too,
Hmm.
but you
Hmm.
can and so I agree with you. A lot of the platforms if they start in one area of media, they're expanding so that they can have the best of all the worlds, the audio
Exactly.
and the video. So
And the
I
video.
don't think people can get away from the idea that if you're marketing something, if you're selling something, if you're a business owner, you need to get familiar with media. And I do think, Pam, your program is excellent for people who need to understand, what is my brand? What's my message? And what am I going to share?
Right.
After they get done with your program and they're ready for video, then I can help them with the confidence piece. I can help
Yes.
them with the content strategy for video
Mm-hmm.
specifically, because
Hmm.
that's what I have decided that's my lane.
Yeah.
And I'm sticking in that lane, and I have for the last 2.5 years now.
And you're doing really, really good. I really love all the things that you're doing, all the lives and that sort of thing, because it's a natural progression to where you are. I mean, I've seen all the
Yeah.
things, and this is like your sweet spot. And
Yes.
when I try to explain to people that video is, um, not just videos like we're doing, like the podcast, but there's TikToks, there's Reels,
Yeah.
those things. TikTok is like taking off like crazy, and so
Mhm.
everyone has to be their own producer, so to speak. And we didn't even talk about editing piece. So we could say that maybe for another show for another day. But yeah, that whole editing piece is another one. Now we're doing live, and I had an
Mhm.
open and a close, but there's also things that you can do. You can edit this as well and use it
Mhm.
in other content.
Yes.
You can even use
Yes.
it as part of a speaker reel if you need to. I mean, there's just a lot. Video is the thing. That is the
Yep.
thing. You want to get noticed with video. It's the next best thing to being with someone in person.
Mhm.
COVID
It
taught us
is.
that. I mean, people
Yeah,
could go to work, so they had to be on video. And
that's
then
right.
then you have some of these people that will go on video and then not put up their camera, and so those are the people too that really, like you said, that confidence factor, and even a little bit of, I guess you would say, image making as
Mhm.
well, in terms of like, okay, what to wear. Sometimes, most time, I'm usually wearing solid. I
Mhm.
remember one time I did and I forgot, and my shirt was just like fighting with everything. I was like, oh my goodness, it was like shining and dancing. I was like, oh my goodness. I said, I should have known better. And I just didn't think about it. I was like, oh, I like this shirt. But usually, if it's so distracting, you shouldn't
Mhm.
wear it. And
Yeah.
um, sometimes, if you have on too much jewelry, you can
Mhm.
wear a necklace, you can wear pearls, and you have long earrings, and then you got, your background one color, and then maybe you're wearing a a different shirt that's a different. I mean, it's too much clashing, so people won't
Yeah.
be able to listen to you because they're just trying to figure out, like, what do I watch first? It's like a busy
Right.
ad. Yeah, it's like a
I
busy ad.
know.
So yeah, so that's one of the main things as well. Well, is there
Yeah.
anything? I'm gonna wrap up here. I'm gonna put this down here too. I mentioned Clubhouse. There was something that I do with Clubhouse that, yeah, there it is, Speakers Magazine,
Mhm.
.net, / Clubhouse. People can join the Clubhouse and actually get my recording. So that's something that I just recently did, because it was like Clubhouse is going to
Awesome.
be here to stay. So I do like the Clubhouse thing. But is there anything else that you'd like to add, in terms of, um, what people need to, how to get in touch with you? Get noticed with video.com. We have that up there. But is there some
Mhm.
other things as well that you want to leave before we kind of wrap up here?
I just wanna say, I know that there are gonna be people who are frustrated and who are like, "I know you keep saying video, 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 but I don't wanna do video."
Mhm.
And I get it, and I think that you need to respect and honor who you are and how you wanna get your message out is unlimited, because you literally can use social audio if that's your preference, but video truly is going to make the biggest impact in this moment, just given the nature of how people are watching YouTube. Pinterest, they go on and they watch videos. Everywhere you go, video exists. So
Yes.
if you truly want to stand out, if you really want to make sure that your brand is known and that your voice is heard, do what you can. And like you said, Pam, get connected with people that can help you, even if it's not me, but get connected with people that can help you to really get past that confidence issue and be able to put a real strategy together that's going to support what your business goals are. Because
Yes.
that's the one thing when you come on and you say, well, I want to do video. And I ask, well, what's it going to be about? And what are your offers? Like, what's the call to action? If you haven't really thought clearly about what those things are, just getting on to talk for the sake of talking or just doing a reel for the sake of doing a reel is not going to do much to move the needle.
Right.
So
That is so true. It should be a part of a strategy, part of
yes.
your marketing strategy. Anything that you do, don't just do it because it's popular, do it because it's
Mhm.
part of a strategy.
Yep.
So, just Tanya, thank you so much for joining us today. This has been good. You have been very, very helpful, dropping a lot of gems as always. The thing that I'm going to talk to you about that Amazon Live as well, and just anything. Tanya, if you she's your go-to person. If you need to know something, make sure you follow her on all the social media as well. But get noticed with video is one of the main things. So thank you for being on. Get out there and get known, and I will talk with you soon. Thank you all for watching. Thank you. If you enjoyed this, please leave a comment, share, subscribe. Uh, review, all that kind of stuff. We really, really appreciate it. And then you can watch this video if you're watching it on my page, but also know you can watch it in Amazon. You can watch the video on Amazon. And I'm going to check it out and put it on Spotify as well. So video is everywhere. So thank you so much for joining us. God bless.
You too. Thank you.
You've been listening to the Get Out There and Get Known podcast, brought to you by PamPerryPR.com, where you'll get insider tips on how to build your platform, pitch the media, and promote yourself with confidence. Head over to PamPerryPR.com and get the exclusive video training on the 7 must-have marketing materials you need before you pitch in order to be considered in media places or superstar stages. PamPerryPR.com, where we help you shine like a superstar.